Okay, welcome back to our podcast 14, since there are four. No, there's not today. There's five of us actually today. I'm not doing this. Someone else do it.
Okay.
Welcome back
Okay.
to our podcast called 14s, because we are usually 14s and we are all 14, and this podcast is 14s. But today we have a special guest. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Drew. I'm an alien life form from Mars, and I'm also 14.
Some male participation this episode. You're so diverse.
Okay, no, we wanted to bring Drew in today because our topic today is we're going to debate fun and sometimes serious topics, and Drew likes to debate.
Good at debate.
It'll be very interesting because we have a lot.
He was also in We the People.
Yes, he was also in people. We have a lot of different
Unit 1.
units.
Okay.
You're outnumbered.
And we have a lot of different views on different sides of the political spectrum here, and I'm very excited to see how this goes.
Me too. All right, can I kick it off with our first question? We're gonna go with a light heart.
Okay.
Let's go.
The rule is we're gonna have a 5-minute timer on every single topic. All right.
Okay.
And we're starting with like a softball, like a easy one.
Yes.
Right. All right.
Which
What is it?
first, chicken or the egg?
Chicken or the egg?
I think the chicken came first because if the egg came first, someone has to like raise the egg and teach it like once it hatches how to be a successful chicken. So the chicken had to come first.
Okay, I disagree because I think that like if dinosaurs laid eggs, then technically didn't the egg come first?
But there had to be a dinosaur to lay the egg.
When did chickens come before dinosaurs?
Well,
Come
did
after
chickens, like-
dinosaurs?
No,
Are
it didn't.
chickens a product of evolution? Or what?
Well, I mean,
Oh my god.
part of evolution, but like if you think about it, but I mean if we look at it from a different like perspective, we're talking about if the chicken or the egg came first. Technically the egg came first because dinosaurs laid eggs before chicken.
It's a chicken egg, not a dinosaur egg.
Well, no.
It never said what type of egg.
Okay. I think the chicken had to come first because you have to make the egg turn into like an actual chicken. It has to be fertilized by another chicken. It couldn't just be a chicken by its own. Because like you eat chicken eggs. Some people did, not vegans, but you eat eggs. Those haven't been fertilized to like turn into chickens yet.
I
I don't know. Eggs just appearing on the earth sounds weird. Like something has to lay.
Chickens just
I
appearing
think
on the earth sounds weirder.
Okay, but like here's the thing: if dinosaurs were like the first living thing,
Why do you keep talking about dinosaurs?
It's about chicken eggs, not dinosaur eggs.
specified in any of the questions. If we look at it this way, if dinosaurs laid eggs, technically the idea of an egg came before a chicken, because if chickens are technically a product of evolution, then eggs came before the chicken.
You know how like when we were all like 5 or so, we all went through like a dinosaur phase? I don't think Isabella ever left that phase.
I never went through a dinosaur phase. I went through a country music phase.
Oh no.
Leave.
Like, no, I stand by the fact that the idea of an egg and the product of an egg came before the chicken.
Yeah,
So
because it
here's the
doesn't specify what
Has
kind of
our
egg.
5 minutes surpassed?
Get 2:30.
Oh
We can move on. It was a lighthearted
Move on.
question.
All right. Do we want to do another easy one or like a more deep one?
This
Let's
one.
do
I
like
have a
shallow. Like
I have a
kiddie
semi.
pool.
We're like working our way in.
Okay.
Would you want to live forever?
No.
No.
I have read that book, that one Friar Tuck book, whatever it is, and it's about like the girl and the Jesse or whatever, and he drank from this fountain and he lives forever. And honestly, no, because if I like Jesse and I would live forever, but also my siblings wouldn't, because they would die and I'd have to watch them die, and then my cat would die too, and I'd have to watch her die, and like my fish, I would have like eternal fish. Nothing would ever outlive me, and I find solace in the fact that children will outlive me to carry on the world. But
Also,
if I live forever, I'll have to see it destroy.
eventually people are going to catch on to the fact that you live forever. Like, they're going to be like, this man was seen in this picture in 1935 and again in 2022.
I mean, there
And
are
so
conspiracy
He could
theories
have still
that
been
have
alive
that.
from the first time.
Yeah.
okay.
I think she's talking about like looking the same.
Well, then they're like people are gonna start like studying you like scientists, and people are gonna get really confused. They're gonna be like, "Why are you like still alive?" Or my great 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 grandma. You know, there'll just be a whole weird dynamic.
Okay,
There is actually. Oh,
These aren't
you
like
go ahead.
topics. These are like weird thinking questions.
I like them.
Okay.
I like your thinking questions. Well, on the question of immortality, there was a philosopher, Friedrich Nietzsche, and there was a quote from him. He says, "Immortality is both the best thing and the bane of human existence. If it would be real, you would slowly watch all your friends and family dwindle away, and God would be dead and you would kill him."
It's whatever Drew mentioned, the philosopher.
Unit 1
literally
all the way
fell.
right there. We all go, oh my gosh.
Talented and gifted.
Okay,
We
can I do a
can't
serious
make
one?
this stuff up, guys. This is actually.
Yeah, Gloria, ask a serious one.
Okay, do you think animal testing is justified, or is there like another way we should be doing it, or like just opinions on that topic?
By like medicine labs and stuff like that.
Like cosmetic projects.
Not cosmetics, no.
Yeah, that stuff.
What are you gonna do?
I
Put
feel
some
like it could be
blush on the
justified.
bunny?
I feel
I
like it
don't
could be
know how it
justified
works.
if one, that you could prove that it would work both on the animal and the human, and two, it's something very important, not like anything cosmetic or like food or robot limbs, you know.
Like if they were testing, like if they didn't have one, but they were testing for a COVID vaccine, do you think it's okay for them to like test on a bunch of different animals, like all at once?
Yes.
Well, as far as we know, like animals, like that one tiger, despite that, like animals can't get COVID, and like animals and humans react differently to things. So I think it's kind of hard to like say that this will work on a human because it worked on a rat. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
I like
Our
the
animals.
idea.
Hold on. If we're talking like medical testing, I think that that's fine. I think if we are trying a clinical trial for, like diabetes or something, which, am I getting this from Grey's Anatomy? Probably, but it's fine. If we're doing like a medical trial and you're starting on rats on like the early stages, and then after like 6 months of trying on rats, then you move to humans because it's ready for human testing, then like that's fine. But like for like cosmetics and like shampoos and all these like different things that make us look better, that are like trivial and superficial, I don't think that that's okay.
I like the idea, definitely, of cruelty-free and non-animal testing and all that. In a perfect world, we wouldn't have to. But I don't know. The question is like for vaccines and things. I don't know, because if you could, how else would you test them?
You kind of have to test something before you just put it out there and it's
Right.
widely available.
Worried about.
So you're just picking what you want to test on.
Yeah.
well, I have this very controversial opinion, but I've never understood why some animals are lesser and some animals are greater. Like, why do we decide that, like, not saying I want to eat a dog, but why do we decide that, like, cows suck and, like, dogs are cute, And, like, why do rats get tested on, but, like, other animals don't? And they'll be like, because these animals are intelligent. Rats are extremely intelligent, and you can teach them tricks, and they know their names. So you can't use them. They're not intelligent thing. And they're also horrible humans that have murdered and raped people, and they're just not vibing, but they're just vibing. Like,
Wait. I have an idea.
I believe that the reason why rats are used is because their like blood system and their organ system for like medical testing is very similar to ours.
Okay, if that's the reason, then that's a reason,
Don't quote me on that, but I think that that's probably the reason.
Wait, okay. Well, I have a proposed thing. I don't really have like an opinion on it because I literally created this in my head 10 seconds ago. But so what if we got rid of the death penalty, but instead of having the death penalty, we like used felons for testing these things?
Sounds good to me.
I don't know if that's ethically right.
But everyone says it's so cruel to do this to humans, but why is it not cruel to animals? I don't understand where the line is drawn.
Oh, I do think it's cruel to animals. I do, honestly.
We just have to pick. It's a pick and choose world. There is no good. And
that's what I'm
there's
saying.
No
but
good
if
side.
human did something wrong and an animal didn't, so why is the animal still?
I'm wondering then.
No,
What if that human?
Well, here's the thing with felons. Felons deserve to be, like, murderers deserve to be in jail. I don't necessarily think they deserve to be dead because, I mean, we look at, like, Nazi Germany whenever they did, like, twin testing on, innocent, Jews. Like, is that appropriate? No, I would, if I'm being 100% honest, I'd much rather we do testing on animals than we do on humans.
I think the thing is there would have to be another classification within felons because
like
what if they
serial
committed,
murderers.
What if they committed a crime because of a mental health issue, or what if they did it? What if they stole some? What if they robbed a bank because they needed money to eat? There's it all gets kind of blurry.
There's also a level of
Felons with mental health issues are already separated.
Well, I mean, then you also have to look at it from, like, a consent standpoint. Like, if we are legally testing on felons, and they're not consenting to it, that's also illegal. So, like,
they're not really consenting to jail either. So
yes, but, like, if we're medically testing on them where it could possibly harm them, that's not
the person they just murdered 4 children.
This is hard.
Why children and why 4 of them?
Because 5 of them are gross.
Questioning everything.
5 is a problem.
4
and 4 is not.
5's on purpose.
I'm kidding.
All right. Okay. I have a lighthearted one that I want to do.
Okay.
I'm very passionate about this one. Tacos or burritos?
Burritos.
Oh, y'all just like to mess with my ethnicity.
I like the physical shape of the burrito better, but I don't really like beans. So if it's like a burrito without beans, I'd pick that.
So are we basically talking about hard shell versus soft shell?
No, like a burrito
is
different than a taco.
Burrito's all wrapped up.
Yeah, burritos are
I like a burrito. It's less messy.
No, tacos are so much better. You get so much more options and variety with tacos than, like, you do with burritos.
I have never heard something more incorrect in my life.
I always drop the stuff out of my taco. I always smell.
Yes! 90% of the contents end up back on the plate or on the floor.
What are the point of street tacos? Someone tell me.
They're so good.
Stay together.
So if you want to eat a taco but you're on the street, you get a street taco.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the real answer is a taco bowl. You don't even have a shell. You just
Lauren,
I think
seriously?
the real answer is an enchilada.
Purpose of it.
No, you need some form of bread.
No.
Like if you're like gluten-free, I understand, but you need some form of a bread wrapping.
There are gluten-free.
What do you guys get at Chipotle? That's the next. That's like we gotta go.
Burrito.
Quesadilla.
I get a bowl. You guys are all wrong.
You're wrong.
Chips.
I don't like burritos because they're so big. And here's the other thing with tacos. You can eat more than one taco in a setting. Are you telling me that you can eat more than one Chipotle burrito in a setting?
I can't even eat one.
I can. I've actually done it.
Okay, Isabella and Lauren, we're not all skinny, so some of us need more food than others, so we need big burritos.
No one's saying they're so freaking filling. I can't do it.
Hey, like, I can have like 10 tacos in a single setting, but can I have 10 burritos? No, I can't.
Okay, do we want a kind of deep one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the actual question is everything fair in love and war? But I was thinking about we could shift it into just talking about fairness. Like,
nothing's fair.
Nothing is fair.
Anything institutionalized has to be unfair because there's going to be some restriction or some calling or something that makes and separates people from other people. That's not fair.
What about the difference between fair and equal?
There's definitely
nothing is equal, nothing is fair.
It's equal, nothing's fair. The world is made, there are systems in the world and in our country that make it so that people have to fail in order for people to succeed.
There's also literally no way to make everything equal. Because, like, let's say everyone had, let's just use this, if everyone had, like, the same, everyone was born to, like, the same money class as, like, all of us, you know? Well, people would still be living in Africa. They would have a lot of money, but there's still lions and tigers. There isn't lions and tigers out my window. People would still be living in really cold places, and they'd have to deal with the cold weather. That's not fair because people in California get beached. So, like, the world, the actual earth is made unfairly because there are different challenges in different places.
I also don't think that equal is fair because people have different abilities. We can use if you judge, I think this is a quote from somewhere, I don't know where, sorry.
If you judge a fish by its ability to
climb a tree, yeah. So if we're giving, you know, we can talk about, I have a problem with, like, you know, in gym or whatever, if you're judging everybody, no matter if they play a sport, like, based on their athletic ability, on, like, the same, you're giving them the same grade based on their mile time or whatever, just because somebody can run faster than somebody else, I don't know why that's fair.
Yeah, I don't personally have a problem.
Just because it's equal doesn't mean it's fair. That's my
Oh, and do you guys believe that there's a difference between equality and equity?
Don't know what equity means.
There is a huge difference between equality and equity. Because, I mean, I'll look up the definition of equity so that, like, people who, like, I'll look up the definition of each and I'll say
You guys ever heard of Friedrich Engels?
You're the only people.
The definition of equity is the quality of being fair or impartial. The second definition is the value of shares issued by a company and the value of a mortgage property after deduction of charges.
The first definition.
The quality of being fair and impartial. There's a huge difference between equity and equality, because if we look at it from, like, a school standpoint, there are equity boards all over, you know, there's one big equity board for, like, the entire district, and then there are equity boards for each, you know, individual school. My parents are a part of the equity committee for each of their schools. And, you know, it's all about making sure that every student is given the same opportunities no matter their race, gender, or sexuality. And I think that that's really important, but we also have to look at the fact of, like, there is no perfect world where no one is being judged and no one is getting anything less. Like, there's no perfect world where everything is just happy all the time.
I feel like everyone also has a different opinion of what's equal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the definition of equal means everything's, like, spaced out between everyone in a equal way or whatever, but some people have a mindset that's already, oh, I'm like this, so in order for things to be equal, you're going to have to take away some of my rights to make their rights equal, and people aren't for that. So there's so many different things that would go into making it hard to make things equal. I think it should be equal, but, like, I don't know how people are ever going to enforce that.
Well, then I
think,
sorry, Lauren, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, in schools, you know, everybody's given, even if people are given the opportunity to be in, you know, gifted classes or AP classes or whatever it is, if you haven't had that education, if you're not in an advanced class in elementary, it's harder to get into it in 5th grade, and then it's harder to get it into 7th grade, and then it's harder to get it in high school. It all builds. So maybe the way you were raised by the time you were, like, 3 years old is going to affect down the road. So I think the school system giving everybody equal opportunity to these advanced classes, I think it's hard because is that opportunity really equal? Because not everybody has had those opportunities from the very beginning.
Well, and then I also think that we need to look at it from a standpoint. I think that whenever people are talking about equal, I think that people think that we just want everyone to be the same, where it's not. We don't want people to be the same, because if we're all the same, then it's actually going in the opposite direction. Whereas we're different for a reason, and those reasons our differences need to be celebrated in order for any sort of equality or equity to be taken by anyone. So being equal is never going to happen, but at the end of the day, it comes down to kindness and, like, making sure that everyone just is at least given the opportunity. But then there's so many people that aren't given the opportunity simply because of their race or their gender or their sexual orientations, and that's a whole nother thing.
Well, there is I'm going to bring up a philosopher.
Thank you for preferencing.
There's a French philosopher named Immanuel Kant. Like, people always said he was very ahead of his time for being like a social progressive back in the 18th century or so. And he was a big fan of equity. But he said that the biggest institution in society is the human mind, and that's the only one we cannot get rid of.
Ooh, that's good.
Do you want a new topic?
Mhm.
Sure. Has it been 5
You want a
minutes?
lighter one?
Feels like we've been doing this one for a while.
I have a
Yeah, let's do a lighter one.
pizza versus pasta.
Pizza. I know you
Pasta.
hate pizza.
There's different times for both.
Pasta all the way.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Having pasta at a We the People, whatever it was, thing was not the move.
That was
Whoever
weird.
not
I
the
love
move.
that.
Everybody,
was
I
not
couldn't
the
have it. I
move.
was so disappointed. Everybody was raving about those breadsticks. I was over
The
here with my little
breadsticks were
salad for my
amazing.
lunch
We
box.
literally ate in the corner.
I know. We
We
pulled
tried to
all
fit
these-
everyone at the table.
Yeah, the judges table and then the table that you sit at to compete. We scooted those together and tried to get 26 people around this table.
did not-
Over the tablecloths because we got so much food on the tablecloth. So we
Yes, we had to flip them over.
The
because
amount of drinks that were spilled, like water got spilled on my papers.
Oh yeah,
And
Gloria.
then
God.
this old guy like knocked over his coffee cup onto the floor during like one unit, and I could see it, but I couldn't get up to go tell him. So I'm waiting for the unit to be done so I can go tell this man that his coffee is spilling all over the floor.
Seriously,
Wait,
we
Gloria.
kept our waters under our chairs. They got knocked over so many times. It was so bad.
Wait, Gloria. At the first one, when you got that drink spilled on you, didn't you have to like wear a shirt or something for the rest of the time?
I wore the fruit punch stained shirt in the musical, and I got all the fruit punch out of it. It's completely.
Nice.
Okay, we never really, we kind of diverted from the topic. So, I mean, pasta is better because pizza is gross. But first of all, because pasta, you can...
I have no reasoning for my opinion. I just say it.
It's just gross.
No, they're both
It's
good, but at
gross.
different times.
Nope. Pasta, like, can you...
You guys can't give a good debate if you don't like one of the foods.
I'm sorry, it's not
Well,
good.
I feel like pizza is better in general, but pasta is more versatile.
I feel like if you're at like a party or say state, eating
Pizza.
pasta would not be, because you gotta
It's
get
just
the
weird.
plate. You gotta also, if you eat pasta with a plate, you are a psychopath. It belongs in a bowl, and I'm not even giving bowls.
Pizza is the ultimate party food.
Yeah.
That's why my cousins,
Okay,
every
Lauren.
single
I'm sorry, I don't know what that
there's-
sound is.
Sorry. Just stop talking.
Okay.
pasta is also easier to make than pizza because like I can make pasta in like 15 minutes, but like pizza is gonna take me like at least like if I'm making pasta from like homemade pizza, it's gonna take me like over an hour.
Pasta
I can
and
make pizza in
salad
30
is such a good combination. You're not gonna have pizza and salad. That's just weird.
Well, then just have pasta
My
salad.
We eat
Ooh,
pizza and
pasta salad is so good too.
4
See?
times
It's
a
just-
week.
We eat pizza and salad at least once a week.
Yeah, I don't know what you're on.
Okay, well,
No,
maybe that's
you gotta
just me.
eat. You gotta get a pizza and then a caprese salad.
Caprese salads, I
no,
never had, but they are not salad.
No,
Salad.
Caesar
Yes, it's a
salad is the only
salad.
acceptable salad.
The
Caesar
avocado
salad is
ranch
very
salad,
good.
Isabella.
Avocado ranch salad.
Has
Oh,
ranch,
God.
cannot approve.
She went on like a 15-minute rant about this. We talked about what our favorite salad dressing was in social studies. We had like a question of the day. And she goes on about her avocado ranch salad for at least 10 minutes. It was so
Talk about the fact that I brought him the salad the next day. So
Yeah,
our teacher.
that's kind of goaded.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good
Are
moment.
bruises like supposed to get itchy after a while? Are they supposed to itch?
No.
What kind of bruise?
Is this a
Oh,
debate
no.
topic or is this a question?
No.
This is a medical course.
Okay, I gotta go in like,
Cause
I have to go in like 15 minutes, so we might want to talk about some more topics.
Okay.
How about like more serious ones?
okay, I'll look up one. I'm like that one Nicki Minaj song, like that Zoom song in my head right now. Oh, I don't know what that sound is. I'm sorry if you can hear it.
It's okay. It's not annoying or anything. It's not like Bethany's mic ASMR.
It really bothers me though. I'm in my basement and I'm in Chicago.
Bleep out everybody's names. Okay.
Okay, I'm scrolling. Now. Come on! Stop making that sound. I hate it so much. It bothers me more than anything. Is the price of college really worth the amount of education you receive?
Absolutely not.
No. It's more the paper that you get when you graduate college is literally the most important part of college.
Yeah.
I also think the experience is important.
Like
experience in college.
Nobody cares about what you learn when you're going for it. All the people care is about those little words on your resume and that little piece of paper and a plaque probably that sits on your wall and collects dust for the next 20 years.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like, there are people who go to college for, you know, mechanical engineering, but then end up becoming, like, nothing to do with that, you know? Like,
a YouTuber.
Yeah.
No offense to YouTubers.
Or it could be like Salman Khan, Mark Zuckerberg, and go to like a really, really expensive college and then like end up having to drop out, start a company, and make your way all the way back. And although those two were successful, there are a lot of people that go that route and don't end up well at all.
Yeah.
It's a very slippery slope. I think college should be less expensive.
I also think, you know, there's these high-class colleges where maybe they have better teachers or maybe they're more known for their maybe law program. But I feel like Stanford and Harvard and all these places, they kind of have like such a stereotype being this prestigious college when in reality, unless you are, there's good law schools at other places. There's, you know, yeah, well, that's another one of those like big.
It's more like the name of the school. You can learn the same things.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not good. They are, but I'm saying they're so much more expensive. When are you doing it just to say that you went to Harvard or you know like?
I'm doing the Yale Philosophy 1 program right now, so I'm probably going to suck up to Yale a bit.
Yale's dope. I mean, like, if you get into, like, an Ivy League school and you can pay for it, you should go.
But you have to be some kind of special to get into an Ivy League school.
Yeah.
I'm like Quinn Fabray, who just waltzed in.
Yeah.
Who's Quinn Fabray?
Don't do it.
Who wants to die?
Y'all are confusing.
Oh, that's our next question. Are males or females more complicated?
Males.
For a moment, they both complicated.
They're both very complicated.
I think
in their
teenagers
own
are just
ways.
complicated. It's complicated.
Lori just classifying teenagers as a gender.
Yes, teenagers is a new gender.
No, we're not going down that road.
There's males, females, agenders, intersex, and teenagers.
Stop. We're not going down that road. We're not going down the road. But no, I think that males are way more complicated because I found out last night that literally guys feel the same crush feelings that we do. They want us to make the first move. They want us to do all these things. They're so complicated. They don't ever.
The rule is that the guys make the first move.
Yeah, that's kind of an institutionalized thing.
They don't ever share their feelings, and when they do, they like share like half of their feelings, or there are some guys that share way too much feeling. It's just so confusing and I don't like it.
I think that's because you're seeing the outside of you. Sorry, we talked over each other.
What, Lauren? What'd you say? What'd you say?
I think we kind of all, I mean, looking at it from like an outsider's view. I think that's hard. Because we don't obviously understand as much about the male species, but
we're not our own species.
Yes, I've given up. You guys are your own species, as far as I'm concerned.
We're all humans, except me. I'm an alien from Mars.
Life on Mars.
Okay, so but out of like males and females, in any scenario, the most complicated scenario is females who lack self-confidence when they're upset. Because like
we just all got targeted.
Just at me next time.
No, okay. So like if a girl with a lack of self-confidence is upset, like you try to comfort them and they're like, okay, here's my problem. I'm not good enough. And if you tell them they are good enough, they're like, oh no, you're lying. And if you tell them they're not good enough, that's a terrible thing to do. You're a horrible person.
I do the same thing. Whenever you're upset, you're just like, I don't know, I'll never do this. And I'm like, well, yes, you will. You're trying to be positive. Like, just stop telling me lies. You guys do it too. Maybe we're just.
I don't really do it. I
Drew
have
totally
ego.
just. He's probably had that exact conversation he just described with all of us.
Not with all of you.
Not with me.
He's had it with me.
Yeah.
Don't even lie. You cannot even lie.
I plead the fifth.
Okay. But yeah, I also think it's more complicated because I feel like guys have this, not all, but we're sorry for the stereotypes, but they kind of have this like simple kind of, they know, I don't know, they have like this one like simple element that just makes them like, I feel like it's easier to be yourself around guys, honestly.
I feel like everyone is complicated because everyone tries to fit everyone else into this like topic of what's your type, and then they all have to fit into the type thing. And if you don't fit into the type thing, you're like, oh my god, do I really have a type or not?
I feel like the total stereotype for like guys and girls is like with guys, like when you're talking to them like in person, they're total a-holes. And then like once you get like past them, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that person's really nice. But like girls, usually it's the exact opposite. Like they're really nice talking face to face, but like they are so dramatic and picky behind your back.
Now I know how you really feel about me. I see how it is.
You're okay. Everyone in this call is a nice person, and I know that. But there are definitely
for
people.
what? You know that, and for what? You know that, and for what?
As of personal experience, y'all aren't total a-hole.
Dude, I'm a jerk to you 90% of the time. Like, I don't.
All right, next topic.
I mean, I probably just don't notice it. I don't really care.
Should we get rid of the penny? Should we get rid of the penny?
No,
I
they're
really don't care.
Yeah.
they're
I don't
cute.
know.
They're fun.
I like pennies.
They're
They
pennies.
can be shiny. They're used for all those science projects, you know.
Yeah.
And like when you flatten
Because
them
copper
and,
collects
like,
rust
at
so
the
fast.
zoo.
Yeah.
And like
Well,
it's that
I was
the
talking
general
about
superstition of
pennies,
like
'cause I
picking
don't
a
wanna
heads
talk
up penny.
Don't want to talk about Bill Clinton or Ronald Reagan because they're apparently really big debate topics.
Bill, they're
I know,
both
they're
weren't
both on
next
the
one
good.
is-
list.
Next one after that is prostitution. So take your pick.
Let's we're gonna get another lighthearted-ish question.
Oh, I want to.
Okay.
Should Halloween permanently be moved to Saturday?
That is not a question.
No.
Yes.
It's October 31st. Okay, no,
Yeah.
wait.
Friday is the best day for Halloween, and there is no other answer.
Facts.
Drew, what is this?
I have a thing. Here's my proposal. Instead of leap years happening on February 29th, we should have October 32nd and make it Halloween Part 2.
Why can't we have
Not a
no.
movie.
Halloween should be permanently moved to a Friday because if it's going to be moved any day, because you spend the whole day at school, so you're not stuck at home being really excited, like you're busy, and then when you get home, you can change or eat, do whatever you need to do after school, then get changed and go do Halloween. Because if it's on Saturday, you spend the whole day getting super excited, and you have to wait till freaking 6 p.m. to leave.
And
We
I
also
think
trick or
about,
treat.
I trick-or-treated this year. I probably won't trick-or-treat next year.
You know what? I just want to go to a party on Halloween. That's all I want to do.
I will
I
continue to
don't
trick or treat
care.
because I look like a 4-year-old.
I haven't gone the past couple years.
Yeah, me either.
I went last year.
Okay, I think that this should be the rule. I think that Halloween should say the same day, but trick-or-treating should be permanently
What?
moved to Friday.
No. Trick-or-treating is a staple of Halloween. If
guys.
you're going to move it, just move the whole day.
Do you think she should be the icon for Halloween?
Oh, God. Wait, no. Lauren, that was the thing I told you about last night.
Like, that one?
We probably should
No.
actually do the topic.
The
50 minutes of actual
Snabbleperk
talking
thing.
and 40 minutes of us talking about We the People.
Okay, guys, let's do one more final topic, and I want it to be like a big one where like people have strong opinions about.
Guys, she has fan
Or we
art.
could end on a positive note.
No, I want strong opinions.
How about we do one really, really deep one, and then we'll do one like lighthearted one to end the thing, and then we'll do
Oh
our.
my God.
All right, yeah.
Okay,
What do you guys think about Strapper then?
strong political opinions. I want. Yeah.
What? Do you have a question?
I don't know. Fine one.
I don't have a question. Let me look up.
Okay, but like I think that we kind of all agree on some of these.
I think this is also it can be, this is a fun episode. We're just talking. I hope you guys are enjoying
We're
this.
just vibing.
Us being wackos.
We're
Okay,
always
whack
wackos.
I'll
That's
just
new.
talk about good.
Oh, we could talk about.
You had some.
Love
Yeah.
that.
We could talk about like censorship and like banning of books. Or
That's
like
not that
banning of stuff
Shouldn't
on
ban
TV.
anything.
I think we all have the kind of same opinions on that, though.
Dokie.
Okay, what about
Talk about are people born their sexuality, or is it something you develop?
No.
I feel like we're gonna offend people if we talk about that. I don't know.
Oh my God, stop caring about offending people. If we offend people, we offend people.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do corporal punishment.
Talk about who we think. We could pretend no one dropped out of the race, and we could talk about the 2020 election.
I don't know anything
Oh,
about
I don't know.
Vermin.
Oh.
Vermin.
Tulsi.
But my serious
Okay.
vote would either be Tom Steyer or Tulsi.
Obama for third term.
Obama
He's not
till he
FDR.
Obama.
Michelle? Obama?
Michelle.
Ooh,
No,
this is an
Obama
interesting.
does like the fake
Climate
ID thing and runs as president under a pseudonym.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
human?
Obama pulls a Michael
What?
What is
Jackson.
what?
What is human consciousness?
I don't know.
When
I
you're
don't know, we're
awake.
aware of things.
Just kidding.
What's the dictionary definition of consciousness?
Considering like, we
Euthanasia
have
and
not posted an
assisted
episode at this
suicide.
point, so we can't even like ask people for questions.
Euthanasia.
Hey, audience that
and
doesn't exist yet, please give us some
Second
questions.
felon
question.
voting. Should felons be
Email
able to
us
vote?
at worstscammers1234@gmail.com.
Please email me the
Is
last
that a real
9
I
digits
need
of
to
your
see if I
credit
do it.
card.
If I need to use a fake email, I used to just use Banana Boy at iCloud.
I just use like Karen and then my
Guys,
last
we're
name
all
is like the
attracted here.
13th.
The only way to stop the coronavirus is to send us the 8 numbers on the front and the 3 numbers on the back of your mom's credit card.
Or your dad's. We don't care.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
not.
I want us to keep all of this in, so because this is just us messing around and being.
I got my
idiots.
debit card stolen, so I don't want to talk about this.
You have a debit card?
Yeah, she put it into this website she sent me. She's like, oh my goodness, look how cheap these things are.
You guys got totally scammed. No, I actually do. I'm surprised I haven't got scammed yet because I go like deep into eBay and stuff looking for.
They still
I-
Is
give me
humanity doomed to
I
head
tried
in
to
a
buy a sugar soda.
Humanity's always
Okay.
been doomed. It's just a matter of time.
No, is humanity doomed to head into a destructive direction?
Aren't we
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
What?
probably.
What do you guys think about the Stranger Danger program?
I don't know what that
I have to
Um,
end right now because my dad needs his computer.
Oh.
Thank you so much for listening. I'm so glad that we had these topics, and we'll see you next time on this episode of 14s.
Vermin Spy
Bye.
2020.
Bye.